Hi everyone, it's Jerusha. It is late night and I am having, well, for one thing, I'm waiting for my dreads to dry. I took a shower. I like to take a shower in the evening, and then the issue is that it's taking longer for the dreads to dry, and so I don't want to go to bed while they're too damp. Although I will, if I'm really tired or sleepy, I will, and I'll just like sleep with them like up on my pillow like this. But I also have a little bit of insomnia lately. It comes and goes, but sometimes I can't fall asleep till 1:30 in the morning, which is not healthy, and I don't think it's great because then I have a hard time getting up in the morning and being like, chipper and feeling like good and happy and excited about the day. And I don't want to feel that way. So I'm working on it. There's a plan. I'm working on it. It's just not progressing as quickly as it should. So I'm going to do a little video here for you. I ran across, well, I've just been kind of intrigued by the whole YouTube thing and the vlog. I guess it's called VLOG instead of blog. It's like video log, I guess, or video blog. I've been running across like and looking at different people who post and just like looking at some of their videos, the topics that they post about, just regular life. And I don't quite get it, some of them. They've got a lot of viewers and subscribers, and I really don't understand on a few of them, actually quite a few. I don't really understand what the draw is. Sometimes I can't get quite through the whole one, which may be the case for some people with my videos. So who am I to say? But it's intriguing for me. I study people. It's kind of like my thing. I've always been interested in people. And so then I just ran across this one, and I don't know anything about her. Her name is Natalia Taylor. She has over 180,000 subscribers. Don't know much about the history of her, but she just published something on September 18th, so that's 2 days ago, and it was intriguing. The title caught my eye because it's called Kidnapped, My Story. And I'm like, okay, because like she's done quite a few other videos. I don't know how long she's been on here or anything like that. I don't know what she's done to try and get all these subscribers. I'm sure that there's some techniques that lots of people use that want to have a lot of subscribers. And then, of course, the people that have like advertisements on, you can choose as an option to have have an advertisement at the beginning of your YouTube video, which I was wondering like if someone had a lot of subscribers and a lot of viewers, I'm assuming that they would get an email from YouTube proposing that they try to add the ads at the beginning because YouTube makes money, Google makes money off of it, and of course you would make some money as the whatever vlogger or person that owns the channel. Not a very big cut, of course, but if you had a ton of subscribers and viewers, then it would make it maybe slightly worth your while, especially if you're already doing the videos anyway. But I was wondering, like, what if someone had, like, say, Anna April, for instance, like, Galapril. She's now calling herself Anna April. I think she's from Denmark. She's a very young woman, early 20s, dreadlocks, beautiful, gorgeous, probably a model. I mean, I don't know if that's her job, but she's absolutely gorgeous face. And so her dreadlocks are a certain way, very unusual dreadlocks, let's just say. Scandinavian women do dreadlocks in their own way, and I think it's beautiful. I think they're beautiful, So, this gave me an idea, actually, because she starts talking about her style of blogging or YouTube videoing is like a narrative storytelling, she says, at the beginning of the video. I have not watched this whole video. I have a feeling it's a little bit disturbing. It's 39 minutes long, and that's apparently long for her. And it's about, I believe she was kidnapped at some point, and she's finally telling the story. And she hadn't like on the videos before, and she does a lot of different topics on her videos, but I guess she's like, storyteller, which got me thinking about stories that I might want to tell, like stuff from high school, especially like it sign of the times kind of, and also the place I was going to high school. But I would love to tell you guys a story about the 11th grade. I was doing a persuasive speech for English class. We all had to choose a topic and do a persuasive speech. I picked one that I thought was, I mean, like slightly controversial, but I had no quite idea how. And right, it's sad, actually, quite sad, how groundbreaking this was in this town. It wasn't even the smallest town that I lived in growing up. I lived in two different towns growing up. I changed schools in 10th grade. And the school I went to when I changed schools was the one that I had this speech that I did. And I would love to tell you guys that story. I don't know if I have time or not today, or energy today. I did want to show you this book because I think it's beautiful. I haven't read all of it yet, but this book on felting, creative felting, and this is a cute little project, but there are other projects in there. I have the supplies to do felting, but I haven't done it yet. I'm a spinner. And I also have this other book called Alternates, I believe it is, and it's a book on, or interweave, I forget what it's called. No, this is Alternates, never mind. I don't have the book right here, I have it in the other room, but it's on creative spinning, like super creative spinning. I do creative spinning, but this is even really interesting. And knitting and crocheting with the creatively hand spun, even fabrics that she spins. It's not just like wool or yarn that she's spinning. She sometimes integrates fabrics, and she also sometimes integrates felted little like baubles kind of that are felted, like a little bee that's felted, like very interesting, and like a little sewn around like embroidery. Very cute, very interesting. I wish I had that book here to show you. I'm trying to get ideas, and I'm kind of trying to like decide on a project to do, like maybe a vest to wear, because I want to wear my hand spun wool yarn, that I've colored myself and everything. I would like to wear it, but I don't want to wear it as a scarf because I get really hot really easily, and so scarves don't work. And then like if it was a headband, I don't, the shape of my head makes headbands like slip back. They don't stay properly. And I also think I don't like the way it looks without my hair around my face a little. So a headband might be out as well. So if I did a vest that was like really open stitch, like really, really large needles, like knitting needles or crochet needles, then it wouldn't be really hot. And then it would also show off my hand spun yarn. So that's an idea I have kind of rolling around. Maybe I'll ask my mom to knit it for me because I'm not really into knitting. I mean, it just takes more concentration than what I like to have to do. So, story from high school. Let me just cut. Okay, so the story from high school, I was in 11th grade, assignment, persuasive speech, choose a topic. Okay, so, I think we got prior approval or whatever. Our English teachers were always pretty liberal. In fact, most of our teachers were pretty liberal. So, had good luck there in public school with that. However, I didn't really know what I was getting into with the topic that I chose. So, also, it was not the most conservative small town that I've lived in, going to school, but it was apparently more conservative than, I don't know, whatever. I mean, in this day and age, I really don't think this would happen, but, there are places that I think it would maybe happen. Anyway, I had a boyfriend at the time, so he and I had been, dating or whatever you want to say in 11th grade that you're doing. Just hanging out, I guess, just being boyfriend and girlfriend. That's it. And going to school and maybe holding hands, but I think that was against the rules. So, I had a boyfriend, and so, but my topic for the speech, I probably haven't told you that yet. Topic for the speech I chose was gay rights. And the persuasive, like, point I had was that people who are gay should have rights. It was kind of basic. I thought it was like a no-brainer. They should have rights. Like the rest of us, everyone basically should have rights, right? They're humans. Um, so that was my persuasive topic. And leading up to it, we did some, like, I don't know, maybe workshopping a little bit leading up to actually like doing the speech. There's a lot of publicity in high school about it. People got word, and not just people in my class, but people in my class talked to other people. There were a lot of jocks in my class, and female jocks as well, like jockettes or whatever we call them. High school. Anyway, so gay rights, yeah. Gay people should have rights, and they should have rights just like the rest of everyone else that's a human being. And it got me some negative attention, bullying actually. It was like one guy, he was one of the nicer jock guys. His name was Chad. I actually remember his last name too. Maybe I should say that. I probably won't. His last name started with an S, let's just say that. And he was a nicer guy. I mean, I even kind of had a crush on him. I don't know. He was cute. He was nice. He was a nice jock. And hey, that was attractive. Have a guy that's a jock that's nice. He wasn't all full of himself either, which was good. He was in my English class. So he was the one that he asked me the question. He said, do you, like, why are you doing the speech? Like, what does it matter to you? And I said, what do you mean? What does it matter to me? He's like, well, it's not like anybody around here is gay. I mean, why do you care about it? And I said, what do you mean not anyone around here is gay? I said, there are gay people. And he's like, well, none that none that I know. He's like, I don't know anybody that's gay. And I go, you probably do. You just probably don't realize it or know it. Or maybe they don't know it. I don't know. He's like, what do you mean? Like, there's gay people around here? And I said, yeah. And he goes, like, they go to this school? Like, there's gay people that go to the school. And I said, well, the statistics would say, like, at the time, I thought it was like 1 in 10, I think, the statistic as far as how many people were gay. I can't remember. I think that's what I said. And it may be a bit high there. I'm not sure. So he said, what? It's like, here at this school, there's gay people who go to this school. And I go, yeah, I know for sure there are. And he's like, who? Who's the gay? Who are they? And I said, well, I'm not going to tell you. And I don't even know who all of them are. It's just that I know statistically it's going to be the case. And also I do know some people who are gay. But I'm not going to tell you. And he was like, oh my God, no. He literally could not believe that there were any gay people going to his school, our school. It's like, oh my God. Naive. I couldn't believe him. And then, so he told other people, the jocks, And then there was this girl who played field hockey. And I thought she was actually nice to me when I moved to the school in 10th grade. Her name, I should probably tell you her name because she deserves to be, like, checked up on. But I almost can't remember her name, actually. Anyway, she played field hockey. She was what we called a jockette. I thought she was cool. She welcomed me to the school. She tried to be my friend when I first moved to the school in 10th grade. So it was disappointing that she decided to, well, she became bored with me, basically. I guess I didn't pan out to be like her enough or something. I don't know. But she, like, so during the changing of classes in high school, so we change classes, there would be a bell that would ring, and then you have like 3 minutes to get to the next class before the late bell rang. So when we were switching classes, and this happened for at least a week. Every time we were in the hallway, switching classes in the afternoon, um, every single time, not just going to and from my English class, everyone's in the hall, right? Everyone's out there. So she is yelling this word, Dyke, Dyke, like loudly, just kind of calling it out. And apparently she had let enough people know that it was about me. And I was like, oh my goodness, okay, this is weird and embarrassing, and this is like confusing. I had a boyfriend. I was not by any means telling anyone that I was gay or like anything like that. I'd never like let any kind of thing like anybody would get that idea about me. So that she was calling me a dyke because I was doing a persuasive speech about gay people having rights and that they should, and like, trying to inform, I suppose, is something that I thought was like common sense, really. And so she was like picking on me, like bullying me for this topic, and saying that somehow, like, well, basically, I deserve to be punished and I deserve to be outed and called Dyke, called a name and called Dyke. And she was like defining me, which of course is one of the biggest parts of like verbal abuse, is being defined. Another one is being accused and blamed. So verbal abusers, they will use these techniques, and bullies use verbally abusive techniques. So being accused and blamed is very common. So she wasn't accusing me or blaming me, but she was calling me names, and she was labeling me, and she was defining me when she did not know who I was really. Definitely didn't have any idea that. So, what I've learned about verbal abuse actually in these books that I'm reading is that projection is pretty common. In fact, like, people that verbally abuse are most likely projecting a part of themselves that they have disconnected from in childhood. Usually, this is about adults now. They've disconnected from this part of themselves because that wasn't acceptable. Somehow, well, I don't know in this case if her parents weren't like accepting it, but she got the message apparently. So when I told this story as an adult, like maybe a few years ago or whatever, to people, they said, "Well, don't you think she probably was a lesbian?" And that might have been why she was doing that. Because I was like, why does she do that? Why? Is it just the bullying, like the high that people get from bullying? And someone pointed out that it was probably to do with her, maybe being in the closet, maybe like, starting to wonder if she herself is gay. And I thought, oh, possibly. I mean, I wouldn't want to project, I wouldn't want to say, but then now that I know about verbal abuse and how projection is one of the big ways that people verbally abuse, they're like not accepting this part of themselves and they are like projecting it into you. This can happen close, intimate relationships, but it can also happen in gang setting. It can happen in Middle East, like stuff with like people and like ISIS and the Taliban. They do this to groups of people. Okay, like Hitler is an example in the books that I'm reading. Like, he projected his stuff that he couldn't accept about himself onto huge groups of people. Basically, it was going to like take over everyone, if he was let go, in the vein that he was in. And so he was a huge bully, basically, a Hitler. I mean, beyond that, really, the extreme version. And he was severely abused as a child, apparently, by his dad. And I don't know the story on that, but that's what she mentioned in the book. So, anyway, there were, stereotypical aspects about this girl in high school who was calling me a dyke. There were things about her that would probably lead one to believe that the chances were highly likely that she was a lesbian, and that she probably is out by now. I hope so, kind of. If she is a lesbian, I hope she's out. But she was projecting onto me. That was the explanation, most common actual Most likely explanation. So, I sort of wanted to say her name, but I can't really remember it. Anyway, she was on the field hockey team. She had short hair. She's a little bit more tomboyish than most of the girls on that field hockey team. I personally would have loved to be on field hockey, but I wasn't really involved in sports. My family lived out in the country, and it would take a long time for them to drive me back and forth. So there was just like a family kind of thing where we didn't get involved in extracurricular activities for the most part after school. So, she graduated, and I didn't really keep in touch with most of the people I went to that high school with because I didn't really have a deep connection with most of them. They weren't the people I had gone to elementary school with, or middle school with, or kindergarten, so they weren't really that important to me at all. I barely ever think of them. Kept in touch with like one or two people from that high school. So I haven't been back to a high school reunion. Kind of avoided that because I don't really care about those people very much at all. I don't think they care that much about me either. So I'm not all that curious to know, but it is interesting. Like, I wonder if she did become like a lesbian or was, lesbian. But that's my story. I thought it was kind of cool that this woman who I told you about, Natalia, is doing like storytelling style, and she's like very grateful for all her subscribers and viewers. And she said, she had no idea that she would ever get to like that many, over 180,000 subscribers. Maybe I'll try and check her out more. There's other people that just like have a camera that they use, and they like follow themselves around like doing daily stuff like in their life, and I don't know, maybe they're like living in a van or trailer or pregnant or whatever their journey is that they're doing, and they're recording it. And I find a lot of them to be interesting on some levels, but not fully interesting. So who knows? I mean, who knows what people find like interesting that they want to like follow? Like, there are people that are following me, and I'm not just talking about my friend Midlife Dread. There are other people too that have messaged me and let me know that they're following me. And that's cool because, like, I don't really have any idea how I affect people. And I think that sometimes I'm kind of dramatic. What did my husband say? After he watched the first several of my videos, at the beginning there, he said, I said, "Oh, what do you think?" Kind of. Hardly ever ask people what they think because I really don't want to know, but their opinions a lot of times. But he said something like, "Yeah, that's you, full on you. That's you, full on." And that was when I was doing all those humorous videos and stuff. And I did Freebox. That episode was like, I thought that was awesome. But it doesn't have the most views, actually, of all of the ones. I think sometime it'll be discovered, and then, like, it'll really, you know, take off, that video. Who knows? But so the things that people are doing on YouTube and having subscribers, I'm not promoting myself really all that much, so I don't have like website that I'm promoting myself for these. Kind of like the privacy and anonymity to a certain extent, even though it's not totally anonymous. So this whole like YouTube thing, I don't understand it very much. I don't know a lot about it, but it's intriguing. So I like the idea of storytelling. I'm a storyteller kind of. But then when she was doing that, I was like, oh, I should tell the story that comes to mind about high school and about bullying that particular time. I got bullied other times too, but that was the most memorable, and that was very painful. It was really hard to go to school and have that happening, because if it was like, just like they say in the verbally abusive books, like by Patricia Evans, like, these people are defining you, and it doesn't matter what you say about yourself. They're not listening. They don't see you as a separate person, is what she says. That in a relationship with a person that's verbally abusive, they're projecting into you, and they're not listening to what you are saying. They don't see you as a separate person, actually. They don't realize that, but they are projecting themselves into you. So they'll accuse you of things that they have done. They will do all sorts of things like that they want to do because they kind of, in a lot of ways, they've, because they've disconnected from that part of themselves. You represent that, and they've decided that you do. And so whatever you say doesn't matter. You can say, I'm not gay, and it doesn't matter. You can have a boyfriend and never a girlfriend, and still they decide you're gay. And they're going to call you gay, and they're going to try to rip you down. Maybe they're trying to like kill you with, like, maybe if they think that if they can get you to like crumble, that they can like kill that in themselves, kill the gayness in themselves that they don't accept. That's probably true. So bullying fits into this, I believe. She was definitely bullying me. Thank goodness I never got physically hurt, but it was a lot of stress. And so I would say I had physical symptoms of stress from that, and that really impacted me quite a bit. So, bullying and verbal abuse. I'll probably still talk about verbal abuse because those books are really impressionable for me. I did not know the reasons the person who is doing verbal abuse. And I don't really know what the difference is anyway, but verbal abuse, she defines it and talks about coping and what to do and things like that. But I like to know how things work and why, kind of thing. And even though we can't always know why, it is interesting to have theories for how things work in people's brains. People's brains are very interesting. They do things. The brain does things psychologically that the person isn't aware that they're doing, like that their brain is doing. So they're projecting onto you and they don't really know. They have probably no insight. And in fact, that's part of the denial, is that they don't know. So, that's my story. And that girl, that woman, I think she sort of deserves to be, I don't know. I think she should have to face it, what she did to me. I don't like revenge at all. I'm not pro revenge. I've probably forgiven her because I really don't care all that much about her, but it was detrimental to me. It really did bother me. There were some kinds of bullying that didn't bother me. That one really did. And I wasn't sure exactly why, but like now it's like with the verbal abuse, which she describes in her books, Patricia Evans, people want to be seen as who they are. They want to be validated for who they are. And for someone else to say that they are thinking or feeling or doing or intending or whatever, something different from what is true, and someone else that doesn't know you that well is telling you that, even if it's someone that does know you well, it's like, oh my goodness, like why? You try and justify yourself and they won't listen. There's nothing you can do to explain it to them that it's like not true. And it feels like, she said in her books, it's like they're eradicating you, or they're just like not even giving you the respect of like existing. Like they're saying that you exist differently than you really do. They're defining you. And it's very invalidating. It can usually crush people, break people down over time for sure. So that probably is a big reason that bullying is awful and has really bad effects. Now that they found that out, they're doing more about it. But back when I was in school, they weren't doing a lot about it at all. So you were considered to be weak if you were being bullied, and then other people would not do anything about it. They would just stand by and laugh so that they wouldn't be bullied, peer pressure. So there's my story. Okay, well, have a good night. And I think it's cool the different things that people are doing on the YouTube channels that they have. I'm inspired by it. So have a good night.